been together, you forever. Let me be the one you come running to. Yes. Be untrue. Let's stay together, loving you forever. Whether times are good, bad, happy, or sad. Yeah. Woo. Love's gonna win, baby. Love's gonna win. We're gonna let love win over hate in the country, baby. Happy and sad. Why? Why people break up? Ooh, turn around and make up. Y'all didn't knock a pipe, huh? Just like, see, you never do that to me. Would you, baby? Saying around you is all I see. Here's what I want to do. We ought to stay together, loving you whether times are good or bad, or happy or sad. I'm singing, hey, woo, let's stay together. Wanna stay together, loving you forever, whether times are good, bad, happy and sad. I'm singing, hey, let's stay together. Wanna stay together. Yes, this is your boy Truth It on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock shadow. And I hope you guys are learning and listening and loving all at the same time, because love is the answer, people. I know you want to block traffic. I know you want to get angry. I know you want to riot. But ultimately, what's going to work and what is going to be victorious in the end is what's been victorious all along. And that is love, baby. Love is the only thing that's going to work. Ain't that right, love coach? Yes. That's right, love coach. So, we have a war on hate going on right now. And we're not going to feed into the hate anymore. I have been feeding onto the hate way too much. So no more feeding onto the hate. We are talking about love. Yes. Love. And since I don't think y'all might have heard me, I'm gonna sing it again, a cappella. I'm so in love with you. Whatever you wanna do is alright with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new, baby. And I want to spend my life with you. Let me say since, baby, whoo, let's stay together, loving you forever, whether times are good or bad or happy and sad. I'm singing, hey, let's stay together. Wanna stay together, loving you forever. Well, times are good and bad or happy being said. Man, Lord, don't get me started. They done got me started, man. I can't deal with the hate. Hate is like, no, there's no need for hate, man. No need for it. So I just want to encourage you guys, like, listen. Like, it's okay to be angry. The Bible does say be slow to anger, which means there is a place for anger. There is no place for hate. I'm gonna keep saying it till till I can't say it no more. No place for hate. So let me give you an example of where something good could be turned to something bad. And this is what we got to be careful that we can't do. A man is literally caught cheating while playing Pokemon Go. I'll say that again. A man was caught cheating. I said cheating because I just saw a picture of Adina Howard. Forgive me. Caught cheating while playing Pokemon Go. Playing the little game looking for Pokemons can get you caught up out there if you are not careful. You have to learn to love over hate. Love, man. Love, man. Just drink it in, man. That's all you have to do. Just drink it in. Man. Stop. How did my computer go to Adina Howard? Father, forgive me. Other news. Russell Westbrook might be coming to the Boston Celtics. Now, yesterday it was what's his name? What's the tall dude from the Clippers? Blake Griffin. First it was Blake Griffin possibly coming to the Celtics. Now it's Russell Westbrook. I'm not listening to any more rumors until something substantial happens. But there is a report. Thunder eyeing Westbrook trade. Celtics most likely partner. Well, if I lose you at the sports, it's all right because we all done. There was an actual, like on a more serious note, my prayers go out to the Mensah family. There was an accident in which a woman lost control of her car in Worcester and ran a light, and it was a 4-vehicle crash. And I'm trying to see if it's something that happened. Now look, McNeils, y'all can have a family reunion on y'all time. This is the 5 o'clock shadow. Shout outs to Rosa. I'm just playing. But yeah, it was really sad. You know, a witness said that it looked like she was trying to, like she was doing her best to try to get control of the car. She somehow lost control of it, and I guess nothing was working, and unfortunately she lost her life to it. And let this be a lesson, like God doesn't intend for anyone to die, period. He did not create us with the intentions of us dying. So whenever it happens, a part of me, whenever death happens, a part of me still feels it a little bit. And I don't know. You kind of feel bad. I mean, you just... She saved other lives by honking her horn, and she was really honking her horn. One driver said if it would have been head-on, they would have been dead too. So even as her life was taken, she was thinking about others before passing. It's really, really, really tough. It's really tough when you hear news like that. A 16-year-old was shot on Worcester Street in Worcester. Police are searching for a suspect in the shooting of a 16-year-old boy on Laurel Street early Wednesday. Neither the teenage victim nor the witnesses were cooperating with the investigation, police said in a statement. A police officer on patrol called dispatch after just 1 a.m. to report hearing several gunshots on Union Street near Maxwell Silverman's restaurant. Minutes later, dispatcher informed officers about the calls about the gunshot victim in the area. Investigators found the teenage victim lying on the ground in the area of Laurel Street and Everett Street at Gaylord Boulevard. He had a gunshot wound to his leg and hip area. The victim was 16 years old, was taken by ambulance to the local hospital for treatment of injuries that were not considered life-threatening. Police said he was in stable condition, and he is not cooperating with police. Texter asks, why don't you think kids cooperate with police? That is a good question, because they do not trust police. Not only that, because they have a God complex as well, is where they feel like, look, I don't want the police to handle it because I'll be looked at as a snitch, and I want to get revenge on this person on my own. So, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why children involved in activities such as this kid does not want to go to the police. And it's not always about police brutality. A lot of people are afraid to cooperate with police because they feel as though their lives will be danger if they do snitch. And once the police get what they need from you, they don't care about it anymore. They don't care about you anymore. They leave you to your own devices and to your own protection. Investigators said the victim was visiting friends at a Laurel Street apartment when he was approached by two men who were looking to attend a party. The victim informed the men there was no party, and an argument ensued between the victim and the two men. After the argument, the two men left the area. Later on in the night, the victim was outside of the address waiting for a ride when he was approached by the same two men from earlier. One of them drew a gun and shot 7 or 8 rounds in the direction of the victim, hitting him in the leg and hip. That is scary, man. Like 16 years old. Like you have a problem with a 16-year-old that much where you would come back. But you know what? That's besides the point. Today we talking about love and only loving things. And I cannot believe I'm going to talk about this, but one of the things about love we're going to talk about is 50 Cent. The headline reads, 50 Cent ran up on his crush, and this is what happened. Most recently, 50 Cent had a fanboy moment himself when he saw actress Phylicia Rashad walking down the street. He geeked out and pulled over, and when he saw her, he made sure to grab a flick of the adorable meeting to show off on Instagram. Rosa, the shooting happened in Massachusetts. 50 Cent and Phylicia Rashad, like, she is still beautiful. And 50 Cent, who's this dude, like, look, man, it's not him to look like he's soft or anything, but he saw Phylicia Rashad, someone he had a crush on. Look, if you are an 80s baby, you were born around the 80s, and you remember Phylicia Rashad on the Cosby Show, you had a crush on her. And, he saw her, he ran out, and he, was a fan. Like, he was a fanboy to her. And shout outs to that. I guess no matter how famous you are, you can still be starstruck. I said guys. I know some of y'all women had crushes on Theo, but did y'all see his room? Look, Phylicia Rashad's room, Claire's room was dope. Theo's room was a mess. So if you had a crush on that, and you remember he didn't know how to count money either. So if you had a crush on Theo, your priorities were messed up at the time. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy that a 16-year-old was shot. But at least 50, did us all a solid and let Felicia know that we all loved her, even though nobody likes Bill Cosby right now. I don't know many people who go from the heights to where Bill Cosby was, almost his entire career, mind you. It didn't just start with the Cosby Show. To go to like that. Cockroach? Some of y'all, Natalie, you had a crush on Cockroach? Did you still have a crush on him when you found out he was Cole or Martin? I mean, you know what? I had a crush on Denise after Denise got older. Now, since we going back on memory lane with Bill Cosby actresses, when Denise was younger, I thought she was like she was too 80s. Like she had her hair weird and she was too weird for me. So I didn't have a crush on Denise until she got older. And yes, Denise is still a beautiful woman today. She is. But so isn't Felicia Rashad from Bill Cosby. She's beautiful now too. Rudy, she's beautiful. She just recently got married too. But Rudy is beautiful. She was on a couple of Tyler Perry shows. And Bill Cosby owns stand-up comedy going back to the 70s. Shout outs to John and shout outs to my mom. Yes, he did. And it's like it's crazy how much of a fall from grace he fell. I remember I used to go to sleep listening to Bill Cosby stand-up comedy. I remember his stand-up comedy bit about the little kid at 5 years old. The little 5 years old on the plane. And when the plane landed, the mother got off and punched the husband in the face. I still remember that one. So that, you know what, now that we're talking about Bill Cosby, that kind of begs the question. Do you ignore the good that he did for the bad that he did? And nah, this is not a debate about whether he did it or not. He did it. There's no need to even get into that. He did it, but ice cream. Oh yes, I do remember his stand up about him, the ice cream and then getting his tonsils out. What is the truth? The truth is that Bill Cosby's stature as one of America's most beloved people. I checked her in at the airport one day. She was mad because I didn't know she was a star. She left with an attitude, but not before she left a copy of her bio on my counter. She was so rude. Who is that, Rosa? Was that Felicia Rashad? Listen. Okay, Bill Cosby is a great entertainer. I still do not believe 50 women. 50? Like if it was 2 or 3, I'd be like, all right, look, they lying. They just trying to take the man down. But 50? It's alright, you can hunt me down. It's okay. But 50? Okay, so he had a problem, a rather common problem, and he was not accountable. The higher you go, the more you need to be accountable. Facts. And you know what? I think that's the attitude we need to have more too. Because we all have problems. We all have things that happen to us that we're like hoping nobody. I bet you there's things, at least for me, I can speak for myself. There's things that I know about that I hope no one ever finds out. I hope it never gets out. But the higher you are, the more you have to, the more scrutiny you come under. I guess that's the price of being famous, and especially being famous and living in a way. So, like, for example, right, Charles Barkley, he's pretty famous, even though I dislike him. But Charles Barkley always said, I am not a role model. I am not a role model. Yes, I agree. So now that Charles Barkley says he's not a role model, it's like if he does something crazy, it's kind of hard to hold him accountable, no? Yes, we are only human after all. That is facts. But there are some things that humans do that are very unhumanly, and they should be treated as such. So saying, hey, I ran that red light, I'm only human, is one thing. Saying I drugged up about 50 women and had my way with them is quite another thing. So the we're only human argument can only go so far. But yes, I do like that attitude. So what? He's a human. We all make mistakes. But it's harder to have understanding, and it's harder to be sympathetic to someone who does not admit to his mistakes. Americans love a humbled person. Maybe open marriages should make a comeback. Listen, I appreciate that text, Monique, but I was about to say something bad. So you got to be careful with the things you say. But so is it like I just don't see what the agenda would be for all this many people to come out and say that he's lying, that he did it. That's all. But I agree, we are only human. So, as being human, I don't know what that means. But being humans, we still have to be held accountable for what we do. So, either way, he met Phylicia Rashad, and Phylicia Rashad was apparently rude at an airport. So this is another thing about actresses and actors too, right? When you are a person who is in the limelight, and I know because I'm pretty famous, I am the host of the 5 o'clock Shadow. Yeah. It doesn't destroy his creativity or all the good he has done. Fat Albert is still a very funny character in a delightful story, for example. The Cosby Show did great things for the whole country. I agree. Totally agree. But let me know what you guys think about this thought. So Phylicia Rashad was very rude to someone, to one of the listeners to the 5 o'clock Shadow, right? And now, it's almost like you want to say she's just a rude person, but we all have bad days. I have days where people will accuse me of being rude and being evil, or he's a jerk. But it's just maybe I was having a bad day at that time. So I try not to jump all over whenever someone famous has an incident. Now, if you have like all kinds of incidents, that's one thing. But I don't jump on someone when they have a wreck or when they have an incident. Everybody has incidents. Everybody has a bad side, and sometimes that bad side shows it behind. But you can't indict a person forever for it, can you? I think maybe with this war on love, I think maybe I might... yes, they are talking about sending an 80-year-old man to prison where he will definitely spend the rest of his days behind bars, which is tragic. But at the same time, if he did it, how many years of the lives did he ruin of the people that he ruined? So see, okay, so here's my thing. I'm biased because I've been on the other end, so it's difficult for me to sympathize with someone who might be a predator, I think. But you know what? See, I think predator might be too harsh of a word too, because at that time, it was more commonplace. Bill Cosby even made jokes about it. He called it Spanish Fly. So it was something that was commonplace at the time, and you know, as society moved on, it became less and less tolerated, but he grew up in those times. So I don't know if he was, I don't know. It's hard for me to say Bill Cosby was a predator, but if he was, then it's difficult for me to feel bad that he's going to spend the last couple of years of his life in prison. But either way, if I saw Bill Cosby right now, I would give him a hug, and I would tell him, like, I would pray for him. Okay, so the texter says, not saying he shouldn't be charged in due time, just saying that his fall is awful, but I disagree that his life is defined by this. I agree. I agree. And it's a shame that they take his shows that showed black people actually in a positive light, where a lot of people were like, I thought of black people were only this way, but now that I'm seeing this show, all black people aren't like that. That show really, when Texter, when you say he did a lot for America, he really did a lot for America. About Phylicia Rashad, someone says she travels all the time and knows protocol. There was no need for her to throw her by owner on the counter as if she wanted some special treatment. As an airline employee, we're supposed to treat even a... Oh, let me get to that. Okay, Rosa. Shout outs to Rosa. I understand completely. I'm not mad at that. At the end of the day, we all are people, whether you are a superstar or not. But you see, it's hard for me to... Like, listen, if I had a crush on Claire Huxtable, it's hard for me to go against her. But since you family, I'll go against her for you. I guess. This one time. Maybe. But yeah, to see someone's fall, and we all fall, by the way. There's no one who doesn't fall. We all fall. Some fall from grace are much, much harder and much, much steeper than others. But we all fall. And we should think about what happens if we are in his position, his situation. Do we want everything that we've done in our lives to be overshadowed by that one bad decision, or that one thought pattern, or that one ignorance? It took those women 50 years to charge him with rape. Yes, it did, but a lot of victims, Texter, are afraid, especially to someone who's so powerful. Like, what if Barack Obama did something to me? Like, do you think I would just go out and say it now? No. Like, I'm afraid he has Secret Service come get me or something. His co-stars defend him because they all saw... because all they saw was the guy who was on the set doing all those good things for everyone else. But they never saw this side of him. I agree. That, you know what? That's what makes it hard. Like, when you find out something about someone... Hey, thanks for tuning in and logging on, John. Shout outs to John. Pastor John. It is hard to... As for Bill Cosby, the saddest part about the whole matter is that unless he admits, he really can't be forgiven forgiveness is, and what he needs to be is to someone. Yeah, right. So he needs to truly be forgiven. He needs to cop to what he did. But if he didn't do it, then you know what? Stand by it, because if someone accused me of molesting or raping them, anybody on this earth, and I know I've never molested or raped anyone, I don't care how bad it looks for me, I am like, nope. Oh, why don't you just cop a plea? Nope. You'll get less time? Nope. I'm not admitting nothing that I did not do, and neither should Bill Cosby if he truly did not do it. That's if he truly didn't do it. If you truly didn't do something, stand by your truth. I like when they were questioning Jesus and Jesus was silent, because he knew what the truth was. He didn't have to be all loud and rambunctious and, look, let me tell you who I am and let me tell you who my dad is. He knew the truth. He was fine with what the truth is. Sometimes we need to embrace our truths a little more. You know what would have happened if, let's say Bill Cosby, for the sake of argument, that Bill Cosby really did do it. If he would have came out and said, I'm sick and I need help, you know, America would feel so sorry for him, and they would forgive him immediately. He would still be Bill Cosby, I think, if he did say, I have a problem, I'm sick, and I seek forgiveness. America loves a person who humbles themselves. I ain't gonna lie, I do too. It's something I can't stand pride, and I can't stand prideful people either. Like, pride to me is like the second most dangerous thing. Hate and pride. And a lot of that is what's going on. In the 60s and 70s, white women had the power, not black actors. They would have thrown him under the jail if he did it. But Texter, to be fair, Hollywood is always different. Even today, you could say in society, if you're doing this, this happens. But in Hollywood, it's a different story. You stuck on Bill, but did not judge Clarence Thomas with the Anita Hill story. You can't be serious. You cannot be serious. Clarence Thomas, to me, I don't like him. I thought Clarence Thomas, I still think he's guilty. That's what I want to know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Clarence Thomas was guilty in his case against Anita Hill? Man, I haven't talked about that in a minute. I see the texters all saying a resounding yes. Yes, Clarence Thomas was guilty. Even his face. Like, do you see, like, when you Google him, right? When you Google when you Google Clarence Thomas, his face, like, he always looks like that. You want to see Clarence Thomas when he's happy? Ready? 3, 2, 1. You want to see Clarence Thomas when he's happy? 3, 2, 1. You want to see Clarence Thomas when he's sad? 3, 2, 1. That's how Clarence Thomas looks, man. Clarence Thomas, like, he just looks like an arrogant. He just looks really arrogant. I can't rock with Clarence Thomas. I don't think his plight as a Supreme Court justice is just. things he's done on the Supreme Court doesn't help his case either. Well, I mean, doesn't help. It just makes you dislike him more. Not necessarily makes him look more guilty or less guilty. See, and this is another thing we have to do too. We have to learn to separate what people do from are they guilty or innocent. It's just like when you see a police officer, you automatically think of the worst, most evil police officers you can think of and just label them that. But that's not the case. And just like them, that's how some police are, when they see a black person, they think of the worst, most terrible black person and think that that's who they're dealing with. And no, I will not say he is an arrogant POS. Texter. Clarence wasn't guilty. They paid Anita to try and stop him from becoming the first black man to be a Supreme Court judge. Okay. So he did succeed Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall was black, wasn't he? Oh, unless they cross the blue line. Listen, so for love to win this battle, do I have to sing the song again? Because I'll sing it. But for love to win, we have to get over the hatred, the vile hatred of police. Just watch the free hugs guy, man. When the free hugs guy was the system hunted down Bill Cosby and took money from the whole cast. When Charlie Sheen went crazy, they didn't pull the show. Charlie Sheen was fired from his job, and Charlie Sheen was a drunk who did drugs himself. He was never really accused or charged with raping another woman like Bill Cosby, was he? Right. So Clarence, it's stopping Clarence Thomas from being the first black. Thurgood Marshall was the first black texter. That's why it confused me. I was like, wait a minute. I know Thurgood Marshall looked a little light skinned in his pictures, but I thought he was a brother. But what we have to understand is either way, there are imperfect people in the world, and we have to look towards people's pain and look towards the good. We can't focus on bad. We have to always remember love will beat hate. It has to beat hate. If you do not let some of the frustration and hate go, none of the problems are going to get fixed. That's why I really, really like the free hugs guy. Because, like, he went to the Trump rally and was hugging people. He went to the Bernie Sanders rally, he was hugging people. And there were so many different people who reacted the same way to this guy. Like, who is this guy? Why is he giving me hugs? And then they were happy. So, but you see how it gets? Even when we start talking about like Bill Cosby or Clarence Thomas, like emotions automatically start taking over. Like I wasn't even, Clarence Thomas was the furthest thing from my mind. And then I remember like Anita Hill's testimony, and I started to get a little emotional. I felt a little emotion starting to come, and it's like, we gotta check that at the door when we're talking about stuff, man. And we gotta check emotions at the door and replace it with love. You gotta love everybody. Gotta love one another. You got to. It's like What John Legend wrote on Twitter. So many people work so hard to find the reason why executing a human being during a routine traffic stop is okay. It is not okay. You know why people try to defend the officer, or why they try to say it's okay to kill a human during a traffic stop? Because they want to just look just the facts, man. Joe Friday, Dragnet, one of my favorite shows I used to watch all the time. Yep. Love and truth. And remember, love always comes first. People want just the facts, man. Just the facts. Hey, Friday, just the facts. I mean, there's nothing wrong with seeking the truth, and nothing wrong with wanting to know what's real and what's not. But you have to speak to people's pains. You have to understand why they're in pain and why they feel the way they do. Jesus always looked at the person's pain first. When the people were following Jesus, he fed them. He didn't say, let me stop here to start giving a sermon. No, he said, these people are hungry. You have to love first. Show compassion first. If you find yourself like me, who's always in these arguments, and I'm going to try to practice what I preach. Before I get into one of them little arguments with someone on Facebook again, I am going to try to locate their pain, locate what's causing them to be this defiant to what I believe is the truth. Speak to that first. Hey, listen, man, I know you're angry. I know probably watching police officers getting shot like that probably set you off, because you know a lot of police officers in your neighborhood that do a wonderful job and some of the most nice people you know. I think what we should do is we should start there. Let's process that. Let's work through your pain first, and then let's move on after that. I just saw a police pull a young lady over, and my first instinct was to pull over and make sure she was going to be okay. I never felt this way before, but after all that had happened, I felt like, and that's facts. That's what fear does. That's what the enemy wants. But if we learn to some way, just love people more. When bad things happen, instead of saying we need to protest more, we need to march more, we need to be angry more, if you say we need to love more, somehow we just wasn't loving enough, that we let it get to this point. If you love more, things like this will go away. Absolutely, I feel that way. Police officers, even I was in the car with my wife, and we were on our way home, and a police officer was kind of standing in the bushes with a speed gun trying to see if anyone was speeding. And I literally feared for my life, because how they stop you is they walk out into the middle of the street, point at you, and then point towards the sidewalk, and that motion for you to pull over. I was like praying he would not do that to us. Yep. And that's right, Texas. You just want to protect her. There's nothing wrong with that. Your heart is in the right place. But this is what evil does, right? Evil is so infested in this society that officer will see you pull over, and your only concern could be for that young lady's well-being, and it could cause him to get scared. Then all of a sudden he has 3 more police officers there questioning you. What are you doing stopping? You're obstructing justice. And then it turns into an ugly situation. That's what fear does. And getting angry and yelling and kicking and screaming and making enemies with people who actually want to see justice just as much as you do, but don't understand injustice, it causes more of a separation. I'm telling y'all, love has to, and it will win in the end. It may not feel like it now because America is reeling and America is really emotional, but love will win at the end. It will. Just have to hold on. No, yep, we hope. Yes, that's right, Monique. We hope. But I know. I have faith. Because I've never seen love lose. Never. Love is always victorious over hate. And you want me to prove it right now? When has love ever won in politics? Well, the first question you'll have to ask is, when was love ever fighting in politics? When was politics ever about love? Love has to win, and love will win. I mean, and it was just something so silly as a free hugs. When I first saw the Free Hugs Project, and I saw that dude walking around giving people hugs, I was like, get this cornball out of here. Like, what is he like? Look, get this Uncle Tom cornball out of here. And then I saw what it was doing to people who hated each other. Other people who you would never see hug each other, started hugging each other. You just have to have faith, baby. You got to have faith in love, baby. Love is going to win. Hate is going to lose. And I'm about to sing a song because I believe it again. Yes, I sung it earlier, but by popular demand, the song is about to come back. Yeah, put your hands up. I'm so in love with you. Whatever you wanna do is alright with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new. Tune in tomorrow to spend 5 o'clock with you and be saying, baby, since we've been together, ooh, loving you forever is what I need. So let me be the one you come running to. 3, 4, 5, 5 o'clock shadow. I'll never be untrue. Hey, let's stay together, loving you forever, whether times are good and bad, or happy or sad, I'm saying, yeah. Let's stay together, wanna stay together, loving you forever, whether times are good, bad, happy and sad, I'm thinking, hey, let's stay together. Wanna stay together. Loving you for, and I love you here. I love all of my listeners at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock shadows. Thank you for tuning in once again and logging on. This show was brought to you by Curry Management. Curry Management located on Lincoln Street in Worcester. If you have management needs, or if you need a management consultant, on behalf of the staff and the producers at 5 o'clock Shadow, I would like to apologize for this. Thank you for that funny text, Sterling. You still have a dorky name. We appreciate you listening, and we hope to see you tomorrow at Amen Sterling. Really? Fam, my voice. Listen, I was talking for 2 hours. That's the only reason why my voice cracked a couple times. But your boy can pipe. I'd like to thank you guys all for tuning in, logging on at 5 o'clock. We will see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday, as always, on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock shadow. If you're not familiar, please tune in and get familiar. I'll holla.